1,000 years ago, terrifying beasts from the black abyss suddenly appeared in the world. Yet those stone giants also came along at once, offering a bright light for people who had lost hope. As soon as they appeared, humans were suddenly given superpowers to shield themselves from the monstrous beasts that had crashed into their homes. After chasing down a few more levels and letting go, humanity finally pulled the beast back toward the dark side and claimed its land again. Moving forward from this, China set its provincial capital city at the location of the Nine every single year. An awakening ceremony takes place where the defenders of humanity are selected among the high school students. On the 53rd awakening ceremony in Lintian City of the Monument Branch, the tutor reveals that the scary beasts are still active within the abyss. He lets the students know that their powers are needed if they are to completely defeat the beasts. He lets out a passionate scream and tells the crowd that the monument will randomly assign them to either a combat class or a life class. But he assures them it doesn't matter which one they pick. All that counts is how much they contribute toward building their nation together. They are already so excited that they are ready to join the event because they've studied hard for almost 20 years now. He wants to join a union for big pay and no hard work, while another kid says getting into the warrior class isn't simple at all since they only have a quarter chance. When everyone celebrates, they see that Lin Tianhao has taken a bed. He's the school's most terrible student because anyone who gets grades changes nothing about his pathetic life. Lin sits at the bottom of his class and feels like the lowest person in the room because he's the one who finishes last for their exams. Lin sits in a room full of people laughing at his dad while she thinks on how he finally got into that special awakening ceremony and what class he'll be admitted into. The bald-headed man stumbles into the classroom and asks Lin for his secret career goal, only to find out she wants one of the hardest hidden classes in existence. The guy passed that line straight to everyone else, so everyone could mock Lin about dreaming too high. One of them even shouted at Lin to stop because getting into a life or combat class would be impossible for him, and Lin was just plain trash according to the ratings. Lin thinks that because of this miracle and his turnarounds, a phoenix will rise again. The story tells us that the protagonist surprisingly found himself in a new reality and started to think there could be something magical coming up to assist his journey toward better grades. The tutor quickly summons Lin and his peers to gather at the stage for a big ceremony. Wang Dong confidently strides forward onto the stage, hoping his impressive figure will make an even better impression on everyone there. The teacher tells Wang it only takes 5 seconds, so the girl doesn't need to touch the big statue to get her job done. Wang Dong reaches out to grab a massive rock, and as soon as he does, an incredibly bright golden glow shoots up from his hand. Wang wakes up and, thanks to Wang's good class, feels like a real hero. The teacher tells him to join the Union Center so he can learn how to be a C-level talent like everyone else is famous for. And now Wang's career looks much better after all. The girls were already flustered because Wang Dong suddenly grabbed their arms and said, "Let's go into that cool dungeon. We need you there so I can get my warrior job done." As the class waited, they realized his new role would give them a steady paycheck. Wang Dong walked back to the classroom proudly, raising his arms in a happy gesture for all the students he had helped today. Lin feels his heart race as he tries to protect himself from being bumped by he shoulder bumps Lin and uses the chance to talk trash to him. Apparently, Lin has always been bullied by Wang Dong, but now that he's awakened a warrior class, Lin knows he is totally done for. Wang Dong was feeling great today, so his group of supporters didn't bother worrying about Dong bumping into him. Instead, they decided to use the moment to help him find a new friend who can make him feel better again. Lin sat by the monument and asked himself, if a bully had been given that special warrior title, which class would his classmates actually choose? Just like he was wondering which class he would take, everyone at work was also wondering the same thing. The spotlight lights up Lin as he steps onto the stage, and everyone's watching his performance with eager anticipation. Lin walked toward the altar and whispered to the empty room, hoping to wake up anyone in that pile of dirt, no matter how hard they tried to hide their place. Fear whispered inside Lin's head as he stepped onto the stone, instantly shattering its dull gray color into a dazzling, blazing gold beam that danced just above his fingertips. It gave a big shock to the whole group as they wondered what would happen next after Lin had been trying so hard for years. When the sun faded away and the world settled into quiet, the teacher checked his students and saw that Lin was upset because he had been summoned to school instead of learning. His ops burst into laughter because summoners are deemed the most useless class ever. Yet training is so costly and results so low they'll spit on Lin for choosing a worse path than even a life class. Suddenly, an SSS level talent appears before him as he realizes he can bind himself to the Abyss Lord if he gets it. Lin accepts that offer, and suddenly a magical system kicks in, granting him a new SSS level skill to learn just once every 10 years. It seems this person is really giving him a chance to have all those amazing skills at the very top of his career. He found his gift hidden inside him and saw himself becoming a living sacrifice to a powerful demon. His powerful spell lets him turn his summoned minions into demons, so they fight without fear, but those evil warriors still get boosted by battles to keep leveling out of the game. But he gives up his maximum HP power to instantly transform into a powerful monster and turn the situation against him. Lin realizes, with this power, I don't need to fight anymore. I just need my summoned abilities strong enough to take out whatever comes next. And as he looks around the battlefield, he knows he's already got a huge advantage ahead of him by stacking his HP limit with equipment in the future. Every time he throws his shield at a boss, he gets stronger, and if he survives long enough to survive another round of killing them, they'll get even more powerful. Since Lin only has 1 HP point left in his current turn, he decides to sacrifice all of it to boost his summons by 900 points and keep just 100 for himself at least, which essentially means he could level up his summoning spells right up to the 9th tier from the very beginning. His mind spins freely as the teacher steps forward and says, "Don't be discouraged. There's another way," even though his entire class is utterly worthless. Lin bows deeply to thank the teacher for her encouraging words, though the rest of the class laughs at him as he realizes he doesn't want to return to school yet. Even if they wanted help, Lin just wants to live a good life right now. Lin stumbles into the crowd of mocking people and tries his hardest to figure out how to turn a simple day job into a life-changing hero, even though it feels like he's falling behind everyone else. As Lin stepped into the hall, his eager sister already knew exactly where her son had gotten the top secret class. It was actually the most dangerous and useless type available. Lin's sister is urging him away from thinking about it, because she's about to start her own big change next year. She dreams of waking up a magical girl to shield her losing brother from the bad guys. She slammed his shoulder against the wall and said, "I'm not your problem. I'm your protector." Her mother's scream makes her realize she's been treated like a child by his brother, who bullied her. Just as Lin's phone buzzed with this urgent message about needing to bring up the class members, he quickly moved to grab his bag and head straight into the room where everyone was already waiting for them. Since the man was still unsure of what this meant, he finally made a decision to get back to work later. Shortly after everyone woke up, Lin and his allies gathered in the classroom and were greeted by their teacher as he revealed they had all chosen different paths. 5 of them became combat specialists, 8 chose mages, 11 are now supports, and there was 1 who was a summoner. Dong stubbornly refused to let Wang Dong finish talking about how useless that summoning class was, even though he knew it would make his life end if he didn't get something better than it. He insisted on explaining why Lin was better and demanded to know what happened next before leaving him alone with the question of whether the person's life truly ends. Lin's special situation means his teacher bought a beginner-level summoner guide to help with. Lin hops onto the stage to grab his book, but the teacher smiles warmly and tells him, "You're absolutely free to ask me any questions whenever you need." Lin was busy gathering books when she spotted so much dirt covering the pages. It seemed like someone had left something to be cleaned up by mistake, and everyone knew exactly why no one would ever read these terrible volumes again. The teacher finally told them all were together because the school wanted to check what kind of student was there. He then urged them to act well so that the rest of the class could also take part in their own exam. Momently, the students rush off to their test site. The most reckless student of all time never hesitated to unleash his magic at full force as soon as he stepped out into the room, proving that true wizardry was about pushing limits rather than being cautious. He's had such a big power, which makes getting 730 points feel like a huge win. Wang Dong throws a fiery sword and lights up the floor. It's an incredible display of power that has earned his 899 points. He was the star student after his teacher said he would lead the class with a perfect score. Instantly, Lin moved forward to demonstrate his own talent. He finally took a deep breath after reading that ancient guidebook from his wise teacher, knowing full well that the skills were just waiting for him to get out there and try them on their faces before anyone else even saw him. He pulls out a summoning book and starts speaking loudly in the forest. A massive force of power suddenly swept over the whole place, making everyone jump and stare in shock. Oh, they were all so eager to watch Lin cast a terrifying spell that seemed to crush the world before he even touched his staff. When the smoke clears, and everyone, including Lin, is shocked to see him summon a slime for the first time, it instantly creates another round of laughter among students who can't believe their minds after seeing what just happened. Lin only had a tiny slime in his hands. They start laughing hysterically at him, telling him that slimes are basically useless against monsters because they're just going to get torn apart. He stared down at Lin and felt a heavy disappointment sink in because he couldn't have imagined the little surprise that had actually happened. The boss's slime is only at level 1, with a deadly attack power of 9. It's got all the amazing skills like spitting out hot liquid and making goo that eats things, but it can't use its special summoning gear for this fight. Linda watched Lin compare the slime's attack power to a tickle, realizing that even something as small as that tiny bit would make the whole battle feel like a gentle, light-hearted game. Even as he worries about his own grade right now, the teacher keeps shouting out questions for everyone else to hear. The crowd gasped with anticipation and then let out a heavy sigh of disappointment when they finally saw the 9-point mark on the board. The teacher thinks about giving Lin one more chance and says, "You've got 9 points now," but Lin immediately asks if it's okay to try again. The teacher smiles and lets him move forward without a second thought. As Lin taps into his powerful SSS level talent, he knows he can't let anyone take the win. He knows exactly what comes next when that mysterious summon appears and decides to go ahead with this heavy, evil magic, knowing the creature will stay forever cursed by his powerful sacrifice. Lin leans back in defeat as he hands over just a few more points to Wang Dong, who laughs loudly at how much damage he's causing while ignoring the other options available to him. A sudden red, shadowy force shoots out from behind the slime, merging into one single blob of liquid darkness before vanishing in a flash. It's like suddenly your mouth falls open and all those people try to bite down on you instead of eating. His eyes widen in shock as the terrifying figure of the demonized slime appears before him. A beast with a health bar that once held only 50% now boasts an overwhelming 1,000-point total, and its fire attack have surged from a modest 9 to nearly 100. Beyond its old abilities, this monster is also wielding a terrifying new skill known as the demonic dance. Lin steps forward to give the slime a command, and suddenly it bursts out with a mighty roar before vanishing into nothing but smoke and noise. The slime's move made the numbers jump back and forth on the scoreboard, making sense again. Surprisingly, the board jumped from 9 points to a staggering 1,200, shocking the teachers who refused to believe the fact that the least expected person just pulled out that 1,200 points. Wang Dong supporters started losing their minds since Lin had more points than their apparent gods. Wang Dong couldn't believe his eyes because the person with the highest score was actually only 101 points away from winning. Wang Dong's voice cut through the quiet as he reminded everyone that Lin had already taken the test twice, leaving a dangerous possibility of tampering lurking in the shadows. The other students rushed forward, shouting their own claims about cheating during the second attempt. They told the teacher to watch them closely, telling him exactly how many points Lin earned initially and warning him that those numbers could suddenly jump to 12 if something was going wrong. Deep inside her heart, Lin knew he had gone mad, yet she didn't think it was the machine. She simply let her talent shine through when the teacher began to cheer for the students, pointing out that everyone was really correct about what they were saying. Lin argued with her teacher and told him clearly that he wasn't cheating. He walked over to the machine with intense focus, looked closely at it, and then turned to the class to tell them, "Lin wasn't cheating, but we need to figure out why the machine is broken." Wang was so relieved to hear about Lin's extra points that he couldn't even believe the competition would let his team win that big. The teacher was surprised when Wang asked about Lin's points and felt the room grow louder as classmates had already started shouting that she scored 9. Lin was stunned by the news that the teacher had finally given him a second chance because the machine had stopped working, so they could all get back to normal after what had happened. The students began to protest against this decision, yet the teacher kept his firm stand, warning them that anyone who didn't pass the initial test, including Lin, would be forced to wait behind while Wang rushed in with a grim, intimidating glare, declaring that even if he underwent 1,000,000 tests, he couldn't escape being trash. Lin hears Wang command his team to climb into the black abyss, only to realize that their very first move would be entering a completely new kind of dungeon for them. Lin stares as everyone heads toward the black abyss and immediately decides it's time for him to test his dark secrets. Later, when experts walked in to examine the machine, they saw how much damage it had taken and decided the school had somehow managed to create a new genius. Suddenly, Lin jumps into the air and trips over a broken stool, but the old man stops, looks at his hands, and says, "You're a summoner now." Lin is totally confused by that mysterious old man and decides to go along for the ride. The old man pulls out a thin, shiny stick and proudly tells Lin that it's the most valuable thing in town. "I'm ready to sell this for 300 golden coins," he says cheerfully. Lin was stunned when he saw that brief stick held up by the old man before him. He immediately berated the elder man for attempting to test her on her mind. He says, "I'm just trading my old stuff for something new because I can't wait until someone finds out what's really going on." Lin suddenly grabs a thick stick and lets out a loud thwack as he sees electricity rushing right through it, sending a jolt straight to his heart. He sees a long stick and decides to grab it for his own fun. Lin carefully inspected every coin in his pocket, and the total came to exactly 92 gold pieces. The old man smiled kindly as he asked, "Will you really get down here and sell me that staff for a lower price?" The old man snaps at Lin, telling her she's ready to grab 92 gold coins as a deposit. But she screams when she hears this because it will stop them from selling the staff to others. Instead of giving the staff for free, he offers the job. If she goes deep into the first level Black Abyss maze and brings something back to him, then yes, it is still too late to keep those words. To her, he has just received a side character's mission. Lin finally found a clue in the dark corners of the maze and knew exactly where he was going next. The old man suddenly grabbed Lin and whispered firmly to let his handprint mark on the contract. Even though Lin was puzzled, he couldn't understand why the elder needed to press this onto his personal piece of paper right now. The old man grabbed her hand as she looked at the old man and said, "It's time to leave," but then push her away because he couldn't let her forget that they had agreed before he got his own fingerprint on her. After Lin leaves, her teacher rushes by and asks Elder Fong why he's showing up at the testing center. "You're free," the teacher says, pointing out there's nothing special about this test because the machine just went offline. Fong immediately asked the teacher if he knew about Lin. The teacher nodded at him, confirming he understood who she was just because he was in her class. Then the teacher stepped forward to tell him that Lin had received the summoner class, and so Fong thought his life would go very terribly. Fong nods to the teacher, promising that Lin's journey into the Black Abyss will be challenging. Just as she steps toward the entrance of this infamous cold valley, her boss has already issued a warning. There are only 1 to 10 people who can make it through, and anyone with more faces gets sent away by the supervisor. Lin knew if there were only 2 people together, and then he realized he really couldn't go home alone. He taps open the notification on his screen, learning that rewards await the first to finish dealing with the Abyss this month. For his old rankings, he spotted Fong Chong Yun's name among them, and he was handed a brand new newbie breastplate filled with some cool perks. Lin saw the promise of high rewards and immediately decided he needed to work hard to climb higher before finally getting into the top spot to claim it for himself. It turns out Lin has been hiding all along, so his classmates immediately realized they saw something unusual when they finally got there. The cool air suddenly turned hot, and Lin felt his heart begin to hammer against his ribs as soon as he saw them staring him down. Lin feels like she needs to leave that dark place so she can find someone who actually knows what she's doing, but Wang Dong keeps pushing her back in with his own rules about being summoned. Lin stares angrily at the crowd, telling them to get lost and care less about what they're doing. Zhou Deshan gently nudged Lin to realize they were getting too arrogant and needed to make a real team before heading into the Abyss together. Wang Dong lifts his hand and asks, "Anyone else want to get on my squad?" It took little long for the other kids to pile out of their seats and sprint over to him, shouting that they were ready to join his squad. Wang Dong acts like a hero and decides to bring together 3 guys who are on a mission right now, making it look like he's picking one of them as his new ally. Once the team size creeps up to 5, Wang's squad begins learning about his dream of winning the championship. Just as they prepare for their final entrance into the portal, a swarm of human skeletons erupts, shattering the mood and plunging them into fear. They immediately understand that standing between becoming monster food is all too close at hand. He makes his team jump out of the darkness with such fierce hope that they'll never let go. Lin thinks he knows exactly who will be the strongest duo to beat those new recruits first. Suddenly, Lin steps forward toward the mysterious woman who looks like a bard. This character, known for being surprisingly weak in combat, is actually named Li Shui. Lin could see she had been isolated for a long time, so unexpectedly she asked herself if it was okay if she wanted to join him on the team. Li Shui is stunned when an elite talent approaches her with a lucrative deal. Lin smiled and said she wanted to compete in the rankings, but nobody wants to be a team with her because they don't want to join her. She thinks everything's impossible for Lin, yet she secretly wants to grab a chance to team up with that adorable guy anyway. So, because she decided to go along with Lin's offer, the two shook their hands together. Lin says she'll handle the monster fight when the heroes get ready, so just make sure Li Shui stays safe behind him. Li Shui felt her heart stuttering at the word this, so she gently pulled Lin aside to say, "Lin, I'll make sure you know exactly what I'm going to do." Lin feels so happy to hear that everyone just needs a second partner now. The boys wasted no time pitching their team towards Su Qing when she finally appeared at the school gate. They wanted her to join so they could all stay together and protect each other. Su Qing was furious because she thought everyone was junk, but even Lin couldn't help being shocked when the beautiful girl appeared at school. Suddenly, Lin spotted the person she was just trying to follow and turned to face them right away. In Su Qing's head, she decides to take Lin off the hook because she already knows how that push will hurt them both. Su Qing stepped forward and acted out of her mind, firmly requesting that Lin take a seat in the team. It was like everyone suddenly fell into a deep stupor when the boys heard the news. Even Lin's shock wasn't small. It made him realize the heavy burden of having to talk to Su Qing over and over again. Su Qing assures him she never made a mistake and actually held his hand in her excitement. Lin felt hurt as he saw how the men began to question Su Qing's choice, wondering if she really needed a trashy name like Lin and blaming herself for being the target of that look. A guy crossing the street too fast sparked Su Qing's sharp words, forcing her to shut down and say he needs to find somewhere else. Su Qing rushes over and says, "It's time for our squad to dive into the abyss." Before they step into that dark pit, Lin has to ask herself why she chose to be on the team. Su Qing rolls her eyes as she confidently declares she's taking over the top spot because it means having a whole bunch of losers with her, and she thinks that if she can just bring those two messengers up to first place, everyone will think she's the real talk. Lin and Li Shui couldn't believe their luck. They've been so badly used up and called trash by everyone around that they couldn't even believe it anymore. Lin gasped as the light caught her eyes, realizing she had stumbled upon a group of two women already inside the dungeon before even knowing where they were going. So they stepped onto a bridge right before darkness fell over the deep, frozen ocean beneath them. The trio admit that the dungeon is extremely cold. Lin's cozy sweater offers absolutely nothing when the storm rolls in. Li Shui then pulls back and says, "I know about that low-level buff that could actually save the day." Su Qing beams with joy as the magic spells she's playing out cast a gentle warmth around them, cheering well on the talented Li Shui, who keeps up the great effort. Lin suddenly saw them running toward the top, and as they reached the highest point, a red-eyed beast appeared behind them, a wild wolf that had wandered right there. The fierce beast was a regular monster that could only hurt with an attack power of 21. Su Qing walked out and shouted at her team, "Hey guys, that wolf isn't scary. It's just a normal bad guy who came along for the fight to teach us how to handle it." As the blue energy surged from the air, a massive wave of light enveloped her, allowing her to instantly reshape into her formidable monster form with powerful jaws and sharp claws ready for battle. Lin steps out of hiding after Su Qing reveals she's ready for her beast form as a terrifying, alligator-like cat. Su Qing didn't hold back. She leaped right at the wolf's face, her claws digging into its hide as if trying to crush him whole. Su Qing slashes the wolf repeatedly, draining its health while Lin realizes the attacks bleed, making her proud of how she managed to strip the beast clean without killing it. And then Su Qing claims the skin for $20 and fangs for $10 each. She then tells Li Shui to give him those items because they are a great appreciation gift for the cold resistance buff he has now cast upon himself. Li Shui leaned in close and whispered to Su Qing, "There's nothing more important than staying here." So this means the whole team keeps pushing forward into that endless dark stretch they've been running toward. Suddenly, the pack of wolves appeared and chased away everyone in the forest with their paws wide open. Like before, Su Qing was already running, and she slashed the wolves with her blade right before they could even blink. She feels like her heart is cracking under that pressure, yet she refuses to let anyone else claim the top spot when there are so many wolves trying to enter the game. Li Shui immediately noticed that Su Qing's arm was bleeding, so she asked if she was okay because she could use a low-level HP spell to heal her. She rudely replied that those spells wouldn't make a difference much, and told Li Shui to save her mana instead. Su Qing dives deep in her bag and pulls out a calming pill, taking a sip to instantly heal her own exhaustion before she can even breathe again. Su Qing jumps on the magic circle, but then she notices that her feet are already inside it. A sudden shockwave tears her from the sky and sends her crashing onto the floor before she can even blink. When the dusty morning finally settles, they suddenly understand their fate. They've stumbled upon a deadly monster, a corrupted zombie. Even Su Qing got dragged into a nightmare where strange undead walked out of nowhere after she met her first friend, and the whole situation felt like a disaster when she tried to make sense of it all. Li Shui thinks a zombie is just an unlucky creature with no place to go, but Lin wonders if Su Qing killed way too many wolves before those creatures even started showing up. A deadly zombie sprinted through the air and slammed a heavy weapon against Su Qing, throwing her backward as if she were no longer human at all. Su Qing slams down hard and crashes into the floor, sending a massive shatter effect everywhere as she vanishes from there. The zombie lunges straight for Lin as she yells, "You gotta help Su Qing." Lin's demon slime erupts as it tackles the giant mallet, ready to crush the zombie who is just about to end Su Qing's life. Lin grabs a blob of goo that came out right away and rushes into the dark room to try dancing with demons. The slime took a long time to get out of the way, sprinting towards Su Qing and grabbing her as she flew through the zombie's path before it hit the ground. The zombie was left stunned by nothing but the silence after the explosion. Lin quietly tells Li Shu that he will escort Su Qing away from the hospital while he helps protect the top enemies, and both work hard together in this deadly fight. Lin knew Li Shu wouldn't be late, so she grabbed her weapon and charged straight toward him before he even turned around to stop. Lin jumps up and grabs a bucket of wet slime, ready to throw it at her enemy. The excited slime rushed out of its cave and sprayed a cloud of goo everywhere as the zombies lurched toward it. Lin laughs and orders her slime to perform that scary demonic dance after all this time. Even though both of his skills work together, the zombie still takes very little damage. Lin stood there staring at the glowing zombie and knew exactly how much damage would kill them if they tried to attack it, so she kept her eyes fixed on the boss for one long moment before realizing something was wrong. The zombie was definitely a big trouble, so he figured out finding another method would actually help solve the puzzle ahead of time. Lin gasped as she felt the slime begin to flow, instantly turning the undead victim into a puddle of liquid metal. Lin decides to order the slime to hit the zombie's ankles right now by using a demonic dance move that mixes with the corrosive slime for maximum effect. As usual, the slime bubbled happily and sped up to grab onto the zombie's cold, wet lower leg. He didn't know exactly what was wrong with him until he lost his balance and crashed onto the dirt floor. Meanwhile, Li Shu steps up to cast a spell of healing magic over the young girl who is holding her hand tightly. Lin took off her mask as Su Qing blinked in surprise of a stranger who was already walking alone. Lin then decides to get that slime moving toward the zombie's legs. The zombie tried to fight back, but his tiny shield fell apart as the slime's thick liquid rushed in and swallowed him whole, draining all his health instantly. It takes a minute for the zombie to sink completely into that toxic sludge, making sure to be dead before anyone else gets hurt. Lin just heard news that he's finally taken down an elite zombie who had 120 XP to spare, but the real surprise comes for what he found in the loot. He earned 10 pieces of wolf skin and wolf teeth each. Li Shu jumped up in excitement because the mysterious figure suddenly vanished from the room, so she asked her friend why Summoner Lin was no longer there when they first met. Meanwhile, Su Qing remained fully awake and explained to Li Shu that it wasn't about being a stronger class, but rather that the summoner had simply left behind them completely. Su Qing had a clear idea. He knew Lin was actually quite tough, and the only reason for his surprise was that Lin didn't need any extra strength just to handle himself. Lin paused and stepped forward to speak with her, hoping she was still okay after all those years. Su Qing gently tells her MC that she feels much better now because the minor injury was just a small thing. Li Shu tells Su Qing she has a magic trick going on, but the two of them must pause before continuing. The boss couldn't let Su Qing rest while everyone was already chasing for the highest rank. He had no choice but to keep them working hard until the competition finished. Li Shu decides to call her name because she knows she's not strong enough, so she stands up right there to show exactly how much power she has left behind. She took a few steps, yet her legs felt like they were shaking uncontrollably in the quiet room. Lin grabs her, reminding her that if she ever gets back down, she won't be able to get in first place when she finds out she's dead. Su Qing finally sees this sense and agrees to let Lin take a break while Lin points out there's a cave nearby and suggests they rest for the night. Lin puts away his tools and lets the pair sleep under the stars before heading back into the dark to chase away the monsters. Lin and Su Qing can't believe it when the young man who just finished his spell collapses right before his eyes, as if he's just fallen asleep from drinking too much mana and is totally exhausted all along. Lin pauses and gently nudges Su Qing aside, letting him settle in a safe spot while he carefully scans the room for any signs of trouble. Su Qing's face instantly turns a deep shade of crimson as she breaks her heart to thank Lin for saving her. Lin stared blankly at her strange expression while Su Qing waved excitedly to the guy, telling him right, then she's a really nice person who loves people who help them. She looked down at the scarred skin on her face and pulled the blanket tighter, whispering that she must let him forget it all before she actually fell asleep. Lin steps out of the dark cave and beams a warm grin as the sun climbs higher over the hills. Lin grinned as he stepped out of the cave, feeling a big boost in his power since he had leveled up to 3. He got better stats, and now has that full armor skill that acts like a massive boost. Lin thinks he got a huge boost of HP from a recent level up, so he immediately tries to upgrade his slime's strength to level 4 before losing all his life points. He has plenty of money left over to spend on upgrades, and keeps fighting off the monsters for as long as possible while saving up for more upgrades. As that shiny slime grin grows wider, its strength jumps from 1,200 to 1,400, and suddenly it's ready to do something special called splitting. Lin was intrigued by a brand new ability and immediately put it on, only for the creature that had summoned him to save the day to split apart when he first activated it. Lin suddenly sees his enemy's health bar divided in half, just like their defenses are, yet their speed has skyrocketed. He can't wait to see how long this new move will stay on. Suddenly, a clock ticked out in front of him, telling him exactly how long his cooldown would last before he could move again. Lin nearly lost his mind when he realized he had only 3 minutes to use this last skill, wondering exactly what the slime could do before the moment ended. Then suddenly, a loud noise came from deep inside the cave, and he immediately figured out that his teammates were in danger. Lin jumps into the dark cave, where monsters are screaming for her help, and she decides to use their energy to scare off the evil creature before they escape. The slime shoots a massive spit at the monster, but that single blast only knocks back 250 health points. Lin is instantly shocked when his slime's attack barely scratches a giant snow rabbit with 80 points of health and 80 points of power, proving it's one of those beasts that live deep in the ice and snow all year round. They jumped straight onto the highway, thinking they had finally hit a dead end, when in fact the distance to their destination was truly impossible. Lin was sprinting through the woods when a loud roar erupted from the forest, and suddenly she slammed into something huge that was spinning around her. Lin keeps watching because Su Qing screams for him to stay, and the whole group is terrified that the slime will try to hurt the rabbit instead of running away. Lin was shocked when she realized her rabbit had outsmarted the dangerous demons, screaming in rage as he tried to escape with a clumsy but effective demonic dance that left them both feeling far too strong for their own good. The slime nods at the order while the rabbit's speed makes her run so fast she can't even stop from hitting the ground. Lin has no idea what traps she's trying to place in her world. The dragon simply leaps over every single one as if they were harmless stepping stones. Fear grips Li Shu's team as he worries the rabbit is speeding so fast that Su Qing reveals it is the most dangerous beast in a cold abyss. And because of this, it has already taken out many warriors. Yet Su Qing remains confused when a monster attacks them. Lin looked around as if she wasn't done with this endless struggle and suddenly realized that the demons were actually starting to get tired of dancing all day long. She threw a ball at him and yelled, "You gotta go. The slime won't let you do that." The rabbit sees a slimy mess in its way, so he leaps to catch it with all his might and smashes it into the dirt. Li Shu gasps in shock as she realizes the girl has turned against her. Su Qing screams fiercely until Li Shu steps forward to comfort her, knowing that tears are coming out of her eyes. Li Shu grabs a rock and rockets it straight at the rabbit's eyes. The rabbit lost his focus and saw a giant dragon instead of slithering away. She's staring at the ceiling with eyes wide in terror, as she finds out her boss might have left the office. The scary rabbit zoomed right at her, and she screamed in terror. Li Shu steps forward and pulls out her first real item from her bag, as if she was running through a city of coins. A carrot lands in her hand, and suddenly the shy little bunny stops hiding behind its fur because it's too hungry. It turns out this morning, a rabbit in Lin is truly starving. Meanwhile, Su Qing is puzzled because Li Shu insists the carrots were just needed to get food ready for their mission. The rabbit, after taking the first bite of the carrot, suddenly flips its head back to face the team with icy determination as Li Shui instantly grabs several more carrots and shoves them in hard to smash. Lin checks her bag and sees the pile of carrots is nearly empty, so she quickly decides to hunt down the rabbit before anyone else eats them all. Lin decides to hand Li Shui her bag and tells him to run away from Su Qing. She gasps in surprise as Su Qing hears something, and Li Shui races over immediately without waiting for any chance to react. As soon as that shiny pouch touched her hand, Su Qing shrieked and turned to face Lin, shouting about whether Lin had any tricks to get the rabbit. She vanished like a blur of black and white as she sprinted past the frightened rabbit, her fur instantly turning into sleek black furs that glowed with fierce energy. Lin assures Su Qing of his deadly plan before sending her to catch the rabbit. A little rabbit became furious because he kept trying and still failed to grab Su Qing, so it roared loud and angry all the way home. Su Qing watches Lin as he scrambles through the woods, asking him straight about his next move. Lin then pointed emphatically at the toughest rock in the cavern and told Su Qing to guide the little rabbit directly to that dangerous spot. Lin makes a sudden noise and then tells the crowd exactly how much Su Qing needs to do. She sprinted straight for the spot she knew was right, letting a little rabbit leap to chase after her with a satisfied grin. The rabbit gets right up against the wall, so suddenly it flips over and crashes directly through. Suddenly, thick black goo shoots up from under the rabbit's hide and spills onto the ground, making the man's grin look exactly like someone who hates himself. The rabbit feels a chill that makes its teeth ache as he decides to let the slime do its thing with both of those dangerous moves, while he watches his prey freeze in fear before the predator gets up and grabs him. A thick slurry of acid spills over the floor and crashes into the rabbit's head, draining all its health before wiping out the prey. Lin gets a bunch of XP and jumps from her current level up to the next one. Lin figured out that the slime would struggle against a tough opponent. Yet he found an ingenious trick to dodge its attacks while moving safely through any kind of obstacle. Li Shui lets out a relieved sigh after defeating the slime because she believed she had survived. Meanwhile, Su Qing feels furious at Lin for using herself as a trap to catch the rabbit. Lin scratched his head nervously while telling Su Qing that only she could move past the rabbit. However, Su Qing flared with anger instead, blaming Li Shui for feeding the rabbits dry food so they would chase them further. Li Shui was about to pull out her carrot bundle and run away from the world, but then Lin stopped her mid-stroke. He pointed out a simple truth. The rabbits had already earned way too much experience compared to all the monsters they'd ever met, so he let the team know that it would be much easier for them to level up if they could lure more rabbits into the cave and wipe them out. The rule was simple: clear the cold abyss by killing a boss at level 10, so he told them to push up to level 4 instead. The kids were all down to 2 levels, and Lin was standing alone with 3. Li Shui knew she had to pull out her strength to stop Lin from getting lost in a rabbit's world, even though both of them were struggling right now. She has a scary grin on her face and tells the girls, "The last time we were hunted, now we're hunting." She joins Lin at the helm, ready to pivot before any monster teams make their moves. It's getting dark and the team sets up a carrot on the dirt next to a hidden rock so nobody can see them before they run away. The moment they see that soon a rabbit will chase them away, Lin and his friends jump in to save him. For 3 hours, they keep the danger at bay, pushing forward until finally Lin reaches level 5 while the girls climb up to level 4. Although the girls were so happy to be out of the deep and down at this hour, the best player on the team still took over for a while longer than usual. Li Shui suddenly suggested breaking the record because Su Qing's doubt stems from knowing the Abyss boss isn't a gentle visitor. He knows this monster is actually quite dangerous and won't stop until they've sent it all to the afterlife. Lin remembers how the guide warned them. The Abyss boss is a zombie leader commanding wolves and undead enemies to destroy its foes, so Lin doesn't think it will be easy, but he knows it's going to take an endurance war until the end. He believes they should be able to crush this beast in 2 hours or less with their current level of power. Li Shui pauses and looks around while asking, "What are we going to do next?" Su Qing asked them to stop for a 30-minute break, which Lin gladly accepted. So Lin just levels up his slime and isn't happy that it's now lower than before. He turned back inside to figure out how to get back up with a new plan. Lin noticed that the new skills weren't working out and his stats didn't grow as much. Lin hopes her boss fight won't be boring. Suddenly, they hear a loud noise outside the cave and run outside to find it was hiding behind a giant boss that was even stronger than them. However, it looks dangerously dangerous because it boasts 120 attack power points and has 4 special skills: a charging thorn, a soul-purifying song, a stomping charge, and dropping meteor. Apparently, the unicorn is a noble and pure creature that rests in the abyss to protect creatures from disturbance whenever life's balance feels threatened. Lin's face bleeds sweat when he spots he has finally run into the hidden boss, who looks exactly like a real unicorn. Although he thinks luck played for him by running into this strange creature, he quickly learns that even though it isn't the original zombie leader, its power is far too strong to ignore. The slime stares down with intense dread while waiting to see if Lin and his teammates can break through this beast just as one of its skills hypnotizes them together. Lin's mind feels too heavy just as he tries to walk calmly toward a puddle. But suddenly the giant unicorn drops him and dives straight down a dark hole where everyone else has gone to die. The slime rushes forward and hooks onto Lin's knee, sending a violent jolt of adrenaline through his system as he scrambles back to the real world. Lin blinked and stared at a puddle of goo that had turned into a path toward the rest of the world, asking himself why he got stuck there in the first place. Lin suddenly finds himself staring wide-eyed as the girls crash right into the cliffside and nearly fall over. As Lin jumped toward the edge of the cliff where he had been waiting, he pulled them back gently so they could catch their breath before falling again. The trio slipped behind a rock and looked around in case something was hiding up high. The girls can't believe a unicorn will attack them unless the boss is actually a zombie, so they start wondering why their special ally isn't just a friendly monster. Lin says the unicorn's job is to shield those who crossed its path. Since it destroyed many rabbits before going deep into the dark, it decided to be very careful about anyone else crossing its line. Li Shui feels puzzled as she watches a herd of rabbits chase off the infected wolves and zombies, knowing their friends aren't there anymore to fight alongside them. Su Qing was excited as she ran with her friends toward the dark room, ready to follow the dungeon guide's instructions and bring back the scary monsters before heading straight to the boss. Su Qing didn't even think she'd encounter this hidden boss before she got hurt by the unicorn. The little girl Li Shui weeps, shouting that her parents must run away so she can never be hurt again. Lin tells her friends it's impossible to get away from them since the unicorn watches over them, just so they can kill those little snow rabbits. She's blaming herself for getting carrots into her team's mission instead of using them to kill those zombie monsters so they can actually get to the boss. And it turns out they're going to die from one wrong decision after all. She caught Lin's hand and whispered, "I know you're doing this to save your life, but please just let go of those words." Li Shuel listens as he explains how soon everyone will be able to finish clearing the dungeon if the brave bear can successfully defeat the unicorn. Lin walks onto the stage to look cool while whispering his secret plan to the girls. He won't let them steal their shine until finally defeating the final boss. Su Qing stands up anyway to prove she's confident, telling Lin that even if someone acts bossy about it, they can still protect her from the threat. Li Shuel feels so proud to watch her friends shine with such huge confidence as they help one another, making her heart swell with gratitude. The unicorn charged at the group of people who were already arguing about their stupid idea in real time. Oh, the bright horn of the unicorn snaps free as he rushes down the line, yelling his team's names right in front of him before he can reach anyone else. A majestic unicorn bursts into the air, his eyes locked on them with pure fury and a spell of cleansing magic drawn from its soul as he charges forward. Li Shuel dodged the shockwave by casting a powerful counterspell to stop the unicorn from hurting her head. She plays her instrument to help her teammates peel back the layers of Li Shuel's mind, and then she steps up with a powerful charge that makes the unicorn die for the very last person standing against them. Su Qing jumps into the way where Li Shuel runs, dodging the horn that aims to crush her with force before she even gets there. The magic spark suddenly turns into a roar, and for a heartbeat, Su Qing gets her head up before the unicorn can even look back at her. Su Qing looks at the towering unicorn with a sudden, terrifying fear as its horn lashes forward. Lin watches it intently from behind and sees that the beast isn't just a monster, but someone who has already killed Su Qing before he even realized what was happening. Su Qing tries to move aside, but can't stop the horn from snapping through her body, ending up trapped in a pit of blood and silence as she waits for death to arrive. Li Shuel dives straight for her when she suddenly falls to the floor. A unicorn bursts out of the clouds with a big grin, letting loose a cloud of glitter to show off its powers as Lin gets angry and pulls up his slime to make the beast fly again. The terrifying demon slime is now a towering beast standing at the 9th floor of its dungeon and holding a mighty power that shakes even the strongest defenders. The slime jumps forward and lets out a hot spray that turns the unicorn into smoke as it tries to escape. Li Shuel stood in shock as he saw how terrifying the dark slime had become on the unicorn, realizing now that the monster was no longer just a scary face. It was something far more dangerous and frightening than anyone could have imagined. Lin is truly impressed by the monster's behavior. He orders the slime to keep attacking the unicorn, but when the creature tries to flee, Lin commands the corrosive skill and a demonic dance. A beautiful slime leaps toward the beast, grabs its side eyes, and burns it all over again before spilling out of its mouth. The unicorn screams in agony and crashes into the ground. Lin looks at the slimy creature with a big smile and says, "That was amazing." The lone unicorn lies motionless on its feet and suddenly begins humming a final, gentle, purifying song to save itself from the world's troubles. Lin tells her crew to take deep breaths to block out the noise before they go in. The unicorn immediately turned his mind toward the sludge before even looking at Lin, who pointed out that it needed splitting. Just as the unicorn's foot met the ground, the slime separated instantly, making every effort pointless. Now it faces two new foes, so the big creature activates its stomping charge. He starts stamping on them, but Lin realizes he needs to crush the beast before his armored skills wear out. Lin orders Lin to use a corrosive slime spell on the unicorn, but instead of killing it, the creature leaps up behind the girl's back into a pool of gelatinous slime and then falls face first on her chest, sending a wave of agony that causes the unicorn to scream. The beast realizes its life is about to end and snaps out of panic, forcing Lin to step in with urgency as the monster becomes increasingly agitated. Lin is standing quietly next to the unicorn as it takes its first step toward a scary beast, never letting go of its own eyes. Suddenly, as Lin watches the unicorn's blood flow through its veins, she sees something strange and unusual happening right now. She was standing right in the middle of a chaotic scene when Su Qing launched herself toward the unicorn, shouting to Lin that he hadn't finished the job yet, and she had to go help him carry it away. Lin screams to calm Li Shuel down. Yet Su Qing keeps hitting the unicorn until it breaks before she even feels its tears. She thinks she knows what's wrong when the animal starts crying instead of screaming. Lin hears this shocking moment when the unicorn is going for the last breath and screams wildly as a giant slug rushes in to eat its power. Lin giggled as she watched the slimy blob crawl across her hand, thinking it was already done. Suddenly, the whole area began sliding downward, so Lin told his teammates to run toward him. As the heroes sprint forward, they find themselves locked in a trap where the slime uses its massive body to shield them from falling down. The girls are confused by the sudden drop, while Lin points out that their guardian is dead, which causes the dungeon's magic to vanish instantly. Just as the slime rushed back to catch the monster, it grabbed the unicorn's giant arm and shielded them from falling rock. The mountain suddenly held its breath before snapping back down, though the damage was already done. Lin then suggested they check out the unicorn's body. Su-Ching feels utterly bewildered because she simply doesn't know what's taking place right now. Lin quietly reveals that the unicorn's blood has a miraculous healing power. Because it touched the ground to do this, the beast began to heal on its own. Su-Ching immediately jumps to the next step of their plan by suggesting they finish off the creature so they could escape the dungeon. Yet Lin firmly interrupts her, insisting that killing it now is impossible. Lin noticed Su-Ching's fear and suddenly stopped trying to kill that beautiful unicorn, thinking she was scared instead of dangerous. Li Shui frowned as he saw something glaringly wrong with the unicorn, which made Su-Ching flinch because she was listening to Lin and had already decided on his side. Suddenly, the unicorn let out a massive, deafening scream that echoed loudly through the room. Lin pauses to catch up with Su-Ching, who has finally stopped trying to terminate the unicorn before she can get away with it. Su-Ching yells, "Don't stop me," as she watches Lin notice his unicorn belly swelling up. Suddenly, a horn tore itself free from the unicorn's stomach and shot out, startling the herd. Suddenly, a tiny little unicorn bursts out of the big one's belly. Su-Ching thinks the boss unicorn might be able to bring back its own life. She usually pauses her work to stop the unicorn from growing as soon as it's ready. She lunged hard for the unicorn, but Lin dove forward to grab onto it and catch the runaway girl before she could jump off. A sudden explosion of fire erupts as Su-Ching slashes at Lin, sending a torrent of crimson blood across the floor where the tiny baby unicorn stands frozen in terror. Lin's phone rang and Su-Ching screamed while she tried to play, knowing someone had already bought her a unicorn. The baby unicorn gasps as a brilliant green beam shoots through the room and pulls them back into their own mind, while the rest of the world watches in stunned silence. Lin carefully examined the little unicorn and found the numbers were indeed tiny, so it made perfect sense why they looked so fragile for a baby creature. He wasn't surprised at all because his guess about the monster trying to save its young was right. Now that he has both summoners in his hands, Lin feels very happy with what he discovered. Suddenly, the air shook and the ground began to crack under its own weight. Su-Ching and Li Shui try hard to get out before they can turn around to see Lin standing above the mother unicorn. However, Lin bows beside it, telling her baby she will take care of him while their own notification comes in that he has defeated the beast and is given a bunch of loot too. He broke a new dungeon clearing record too. The ground keeps shuddering and getting even more violent as the storm builds up inside. The ground beneath Su-Ching and Li Shui's feet suddenly gave way as they screamed to push him away, leaving them completely exposed when the ground collapsed into place just as he fell. He fell down with a roar of terror, yet the system gently asked him if he was actually ready to go. A glowing pixelated light flickers across Lin's body before snapping to life, pulling him straight into the dark maze of the dungeon. Su-Ching sprinted forward and grabbed the guy's shirt as Lin yelled to stay calm. Meanwhile, the other warriors heard news that rankings are shifting because of a new leader in town. The others instantly checked if this could be Lin, but their quick reaction turned into an excuse. It would have been so easy to surpass Fong's record. Just then, the screen started to shimmer and a figure emerged from behind the door. Lin and his crew are suddenly called in because someone asks them why they didn't break a new record, and his best friend tells him everyone was just dragged out of the dungeon without a choice. Squinting at the screen, Su-Ching lets out a sharp breath and lashes out for the first time in hours. Yet, as she charges forward toward the group, the silence breaks instantly when Lin and Li Shui intervene. They know exactly what they're doing, being laughed at by Wang Dong's team and stepping out of the dungeon alone, and hold her back so they can finally see who is in charge. He stared at Lin in his usual, unimpressed way, knowing perfectly well that no matter how hard he pushed, a pile of actual junk wouldn't magically transform into a living creature while still being alive. Wang looked around nervously as Su-Ching walked past the window next to the trash can that was right there in his path. Her friend had already decided to steer the group away from the mess, but Su-Ching didn't seem to care about the debris at all and only added a little more bad attitude to the conversation. Wang steps in and tells the guy to shut up before he gets too angry again. Wang suddenly asks Lin if they can finally see where the two of them are really connected, and she replies with a grin, pointing out that she's just joking when he mentions the gap he needs to clear up. Wang lets his mood take over him like a storm, pulling on Lin's shirt and shouting back while the crowd behind him buzzes with chatter about a leaderboard update. They were absolutely stunned as Lin Tianhao climbed up to the top of the leaderboard. Wang walks out of the crowd in shock as his group members watch him try to process that shocking moment. They immediately start pointing at Lin and praising how great he pushed Fang Qingyun off the leaderboard after 3 years, while Wang's friends refuse to believe what is so right before their very eyes. They started assuming Lin had cheated on her school test just like he did, but those other warriors didn't believe it since there's no way anyone could cheat here. Then behind their backs, a voice whispered that being naive about cheating is completely wrong for a person in the dungeon. The roar of the crowd shakes as they turn toward two cool siblings, Murong Yu and his sister Murong Shui, walking in perfect silence toward them while carrying their team behind them. Everyone goes wild because they are rarely seen so often. Even Lin can't wait to see how these great warriors with impossible titles will stand up for them. Lin is baffled that two siblings from a wealthy family appear so quickly at a location everyone knows for its dangerous nature, usually jumping straight into an endless void via those mysterious teleportation gates. Yet there are also tough guys who decide to team up with regular folks instead of hiding behind the abyss itself. Lin feels completely baffled by their effort because they're still stuck on something so basic they can't even make it to the main stage yet. Wang walked over and tried to grab Murong's hand, but she stopped dead in the middle of her dance, treating his presence like a mere decoration rather than an equal partner. Wang's friend turned red with rage because Murong Shui had completely ignored him, shouting in a panic that he wasn't even worth talking to anymore. Murong Shui dumps the insult on the crowd and shouts, "You don't get it. That guy turned out to be one of the holy warriors." The guy gets a little pushy, but Wang catches them in their own trap and says nothing more than, "Don't do anything rash." Wang turns his attention to the siblings and says, "Lin isn't just a guy. She's just a bad guy who broke into the dungeons." Lin looks up sharply as Wang tells her he's lucky, though the news suggests his luck might soon end forever. Wang and his group of losers were slammed off the scene, but Su Qing sighed with relief as they finally disappeared from the crowd. It was a game-changing moment when Murong Yu got the rare chance to speak to Lin and asked him if he was that mysterious person who had just flipped the entire ranking for the Black Abyss. Lin gasps as she sees Murong Yu holding onto her wrist and reaching for her hand, quickly turning around to catch up before he can finish his introduction. Murong Shui screamed when she saw him staring blankly, but this left him completely stunned and confused. When Murong Yu's hot-blooded sister starts urging her to chill out, Lin finally slips out of the shadows and awkwardly shakes hands with him before being pulled back in by Su Qing. Su Qing turned to her siblings and said, "Lin has already teamed up with her." As Murong Yu's face turned a hateful shade of red because he heard Su Qing move away, he shouted the words he was told. "Move aside." No one stole Lin away because Su Qing refused to let anyone touch her now. She tried to slip Lin out of the way, but Murong Shui intercepted the move and gave a blunt yes, insisting Su Qing had already decided that Lin would join their squad instead. As the other warriors stare in shock at the Murong family's desperate fight for a summoner spot, one NPC notes that Lin isn't just an ordinary mage. He's the first to break the Abyss record. It finally clicks on why the Murong family want him, because this will make it easy for everyone else to climb up the ranks. Su Qing holds firm on her job and insists she won't hand out Lin's papers to anyone else, knowing that doing so would erase her entire record. A team member from Murong rushes in and pushes Su Qing away as he pulls Lin along for a ride. The NPC members think fighting a powerful family member like the Murong clan alone will be too risky for someone as brave as Su Qing. Li Shui gently nudged Lin toward a quiet corner of the house, and suddenly, Su Qing's voice echoed from behind him. There isn't even a single possibility out there that Lin would think about teaming up with the Murong family. Murong Yu gently reminded Su Qing that she really had no power to make decisions on her own. So instead of just sitting there with him, he asked Lin if she wanted to talk about what he actually needed rather than worrying about his wishes. Murong Yu steps forward and proudly presents his new offer, turning into a glowing golden lion knight to cheer Lin along with him. Lin sits in front of a big computer and looks at the options list, wondering if she can make it. But Su Qing stands up and says confidently, no, she won't go with Murong Yu's team. Lin's sudden revelation of his openness shocked everyone all at once. Su Qing and Li Shui nearly lost their minds when they heard that news. She finds herself compelled to face Lin, wondering exactly why she's being asked to step in when her brother Murong Yu and his squad are already leading the charge against them. As Murong Yu thinks about Lin's move, he finds his heart beating in time with her choice, knowing she's already made a great decision ahead of him. Lily rushes over and greets Lin warmly as he points at a ticket that says, "Accept," and she smiles with excitement as she hands him her copy of the invitation. Mr. Morong looked up from his book and grinned as he told Lin, "So I'll be the guy who breaks those records with you." Lin refuses the idea so suddenly that shock turns every single person into a confused observer, but he still won't give up on it. Muyang Shui got mad, and Morong stepped in to stop the trouble. Lin tells Morong he's really prepared for the trip, and they'll have to settle on a few things before he leaves. She stared intensely at Lin, whispering venomously about his pathetic skill set, while reminding him clearly that she isn't giving him anything but a grudge. Lin suddenly feels like everyone has turned into a monster and decides to leave the room instead of staying for a big party. Morong feels compelled to speak up because the man behind him seems unsure of exactly what he means by terms. Lin beamed and said, "It's not serious at all. He just wants everyone who steps into the abyss to stay with him. So he won't let anyone take their experience, and all the monster loot must go down to his hands instead." Morong Shui gasped and turned away as the news hit him, making his eyes widen with a look of pure disbelief at what he had heard. Even though the NPCs didn't understand what was happening, Lin simply made things seem incredibly impossible, and that silence caused everyone else to think about how the Morong family could follow summoner instructions without anyone noticing their own rule-breaking. Lin stood tall and proudly showing Morong that he could actually do it. Lin was completely ignoring Morong and his team when they tried to convince him to say no to that ridiculous proposal, and he just laughed it off as if nothing had happened. Su Qing bursts out laughing while pointing out how completely they're ready to break their rules, promising that if they don't meet those strict conditions, they'll never be able to reach the very top of the leaderboard. The two sides of Lin can't believe she just got mad at the Morong family right in front of everyone. Another witness notes that her bold move broke a record, proving she's the hottest shot, and even the mayor has no choice but to pay him respect. The boys on Morong squad were determined to crush Lin, yet his superior intervened and reminded them of their actual purpose before even sending him off. Lin replies sharply because he really hates it when big men pull people by their tails and grab them without asking why they're gone. It was exactly what she predicted. Morong Shui got a little stung by the sudden noise, so her brother jumped in front of her and made sure she wasn't getting any more. Morong tells Lin that his high reputation as the #1 in the Cold Valley Abyss means his happiness will vanish if he stays careless. So he uses anger against Lin while refusing his offer because he isn't yet ready to go with them. He laughed loudly and pointed to the crowd, demanding everyone get out of their own shame. But Morong Shui is furious because they made her laugh, and she vows to teach Lin one final time on the way home. Lin stretches out wide, telling his team they have to go back in the dark for another run until they finally make it to level 10. Suddenly, Lin felt a dark presence lurking behind his back as the girls stepped forward and stared at him with eyes filled with fear, whispering how lucky they were that he didn't get picked to play for Morong's team. Lin watches from behind the glass as the girls rush to hear his urgent warning before they even realize who he is, so he keeps his eyes on them while he speaks first. But he ignores his plea and beats himself up so badly that they're mad. When they finish killing him off, Su Qing then says, "Let's buy new stuff and talk again soon." Lin grabs her bag and heads straight into the wild when that last hour finally runs out before they can get back inside. He had a big lesson when he defeated that unicorn, and now he's grown up to be at level 6. He didn't recognize the unicorn's tricks, so he decided to call it on him. And as soon as the portal opened, that bright white-blue beam of energy hit everything and vanished instantly. Linda was so scared she could barely hold her breath as she watched Lin struggle to pull a ghostly figure out of the dark void behind him. Then the system told him the summoning had gone wrong and urged him to check his summon status. Lin presses on the button, and suddenly the system asks, "Are you ready to hatch your summon?" He nods eagerly, knowing that waiting 3 days is his only option because the magic hasn't been fully released yet. He decided to grab a random chance at treasure by opening that special chest, which now holds his historical record gift pack ready for him. He grabs the package from the shelf and immediately sees a card that reads "Fastest" with an image of Lin. He stumbles back because the words don't match up at all, so instead of thinking hard about the title, he simply checks what's inside the box. The door opens with a mysterious click as he steps in, letting him finally find his own rare, powerful tools and potions hidden deep inside. He opens the box without wasting a single second. He stares at 2 large boxes standing right before his face as he decides to peek inside the metal container on his left before doing anything else. He steps into the empty completion chest, where a sleek, versatile guardian armor slides out, a piece that works for every class type and gives him extra stats. He pulls it out of the box with great excitement, because it boosts his abilities while also rewarding him for using it. He opens the box to find an unboxing surprise, a silver necklace that instantly boosts his power. Lin can't believe he got this grade right away. Everyone knows equipment is ranked from no to divine, but he's just stunned by this silver achievement. He smiled as he saw all that was hidden in the loot, realizing now that his luck truly belonged to God. Lin felt a sudden spark of excitement and jumped up to grab her heavy armor right away. Lin feels her gears spinning inside him as she discovers the gear is turning her world into something entirely different. Your character's status bar keeps expanding as they gain more stat points, but they're surprisingly stuck with only a couple of skill points available to use. He didn't pause before spending every single spare point on a completely new skill that was already stronger than he thought. It's a cool trick he uses so his summoned beast can stay safe, but this new level lets him use it without burning up all his spirit power at once. Lin was so happy knowing she could finish her job quickly, because saving her friends would finally save the day. Lin suddenly decided to turn a corner and smash all that slime. The offer finally lands him as he confidently slides forward a 6th level in his slime empire. Lin was stunned by the sight of the object, leading him on a wild search because nobody had noticed it before. Despite feeling like a fool for missing out, he still made the choice to accept the deal, which instantly reduced his health points. That secret magic trick works like a golden dream. The brave hero jumps into the pit where the dark slime begins its strange transformation, ready to turn their ordinary life into something far more magical. A huge explosion shakes the room as Lin jumps back, his face twisting into an expression of pure shock before he finally sees the soft, glowing slime sliding across the ground just like a human. While Su Qing is just trying to get back in, nobody else seems to be there. She's lost entirely, and a guy named Lin is nowhere to be seen. She asks around, and Li Shui says he might have been on the team panel, but she doesn't know who that person could be. Su Qing suddenly opened the panel and gasped as she spotted a strange male figure running through the dense woods. But Lin had already begun trying hard to hide his own shock by staring blankly at the monster slithering across her chest with round, plump melons. Lin stares at a pile of slimes and asks himself why they aren't wearing anything until he sees them all jump onto him with surprising speed. She shoves Lin onto the floor so he can't see what she's doing and rubs every milk carton over his face like a weapon. Lin's face turned a deep crimson, but miraculously he held his own from falling apart. He grabbed the goo and told her clearly. She won't be able to find a response from him no matter how hard she tries. A wizard steps down from a tall tower to reveal a shimmering gown that catches the light as Lin dives in to dress up the slimes. It gathers the mess instead of keeping it clean. The quiet moment hits him like a sudden chill when he sees the blobby mess crawling out of the box. And for the first time in his life, he's finally holding on to something real to protect from the world. You're not supposed to walk in that dress alone. That's why the slime has to jump up and down so he doesn't fall. Lin couldn't believe he'd suddenly turned into an adult dad, but then he quickly realized that his slimes had acquired professional gear and are now fully human-sized. Lin finally pulls his head back and sees the glowing red light flickering in front of him before he can even say anything else. The slime has received an enormous boost in stats, with health points soaring from 1,600 to 2,700, while her attack power jumped to 205. She now holds 2 new skills, the Acid Rain and the Demon's Embrace. The Acid Rain is a group attack that lets the slime throw part of herself to create clouds and hurl corrosive acid at a specific area for continuous damage. Meanwhile, the Demon's Embrace is a single target skill where the slime must grab the enemy. Once she succeeds, they take a hit every time she grabs them. Lin was so thrilled because he couldn't help but want to get ready right away. Su Qing and Li Shui are chasing his footsteps as they marvel at how he has slipped away into a dense forest. Finally finding the man, Su Qing watches Lin hug another woman as he looks back on his view of them. He screamed after her, begging Lin why the man is behaving like this. The surprise that Lin finds makes her jump as she sees the 2 people standing right where they should be. Su Qing couldn't believe Lin was asking this simple question because it meant someone else was trying to steal their sweet, quiet moment. Lin knew Su Qing was taking things the wrong way, and now he was already getting beaten up by that very same woman because she called him a pervert. Su Qing finally understood why the girls were hiding from Lin after he got trashed. Instead of accepting it, she still blamed him for letting her stay when he was too slow and left her with no opportunity to fix things. Then Lin unsummoned the slime and asked the girls why they were in the woods. Su Qing pointed out immediately that his meeting with them had already ended, so they couldn't even make it into the dark place without him helping. It's time to step back into the dark woods again when Lin finally sees dawns on him, and Mu Rongyu and his team wipe out the snow rabbits like nothing matters anymore as they chase down that elusive thing everyone says isn't there at all yet. One of his team members suggested buying the item back from whoever took it, but he was slapped by his colleague for suggesting such an idea. He then reminded him that they were hunting for a 1,000-year mythical creature and that this secret mission meant no one could announce it to everyone without fear. Another team member stares at a creature they think might have been pulled from a different guild, while Murong Shui sits down so she can tell the rest of the team to keep their mouths shut. Murong Shui thinks it was taken by a rogue team of guildless players, and apparently those adventurers are after the mythical unicorn. Since no other guild possesses the fragments, he firmly believes that no one could possibly know about the beast awakening. It was only then she realized that the group had stumbled upon this place while trapped in an infinite, crushing void and finally conquered the legendary unicorn who ruled over the impossible depths. Murong nods at his sister, noting how strangely the dungeon seems to be acting up while a unicorn suddenly woke up earlier than planned, and he firmly agrees because the Golden Lions Guild is the only one who knows about it. Murong Shui then suggests they check out all recently joined teams and slay them until they find the specific group that defeated the monster. Meanwhile, she's watching Lin with interest. Murong whispers to his sister about the Golden Lion Guild, saying no one goes after innocent people, while also noting that anyone who kills a unicorn is never just a walkover. Deep inside, he worries it could be worse than that, so he tells his team they'll go back to HQ first and then figure out what to do next. Murong swings wildly at the blade and shouts loudly as he commands the team to get ready for their journey home. He steps out of a shadowy tunnel where he and his team are about to fall into the deepest hole anyone has ever seen. She pulls a protective barrier over them and lets them stand guard against the chilly winds. It was exactly as they were meant to be. Su Qing moved forward at a brisk pace, proving she knew better than anyone else how to lead the group ahead of everyone else. The pack of wolves didn't know they were coming until Su Qing was already there, ready to turn up the volume and take down any monster that stepped out from behind the trees. Lin was utterly stunned by the explosion of monsters that appeared right at their start, while Su Qing launched herself into action, eager to crush them all before they could even get a chance. She calls on the Shui for buffs and assures the lady that she's got her back using her instrument to unleash a powerful sound wave that disrupts the wolves' hearing, giving Su Qing the chance to cut through them like they're already dead. She deals high damage just from a single slash and confidently wipes out the wolves, leaving Lin impressed as he realizes that Su Qing has received upgrades so deadly she can aura farm while her enemies scream about how she will take down anyone no matter the number. On the other hand, Lin is still trying to figure out why there are more wolves at the start. He knew exactly where the next spawn would be and confirmed his own suspicions about what was coming up. When they finally reach the next spawn point, Lin sees clearly that Su Qing is urging Li Shui to keep buffing herself up so she can take on more monsters. Suddenly, the ground beneath them shakes violently as Li Shui panics, but Su Qing steadies her with a firm command to calm down. Just then, they spotted strange movements beneath the snow before a terrifying zombie appeared there. Yet it was not alone. Beside it, fierce dire wolves and a mighty dire wolf king were also born. Lin finally saw the frozen monsters buried deep beneath the ice, and their strange arrangement clearly meant they had been captured by wolves and bears while the hunters chased them away from the trees. As Li Shui began to scramble in fear, she turned up the noise to get everyone's attention before realizing she had forgotten what to say. Lin suddenly realized the attacks aren't random anymore. Monsters are clearly becoming smarter. So when a zombie tries to smash the girls with its mallet, Su Qing manages to pull them out of danger before they hit the floor. They crash down, but she urges them to get back up fast. Lin and the zombie stare at each other like arch-rivals while wolves charge at him from behind. The girls scream in horror, believing they're done for, but Lin decides to wait till the last moment to unleash his summon and bring out the demon slime. Meanwhile, those outside notice something wrong with the dungeon. The ground shakes, and the entrance has something going on. Just then, warriors are expelled with their limbs missing, while skeletons fly out of the dungeons, leaving officials confused. It turns out those skeletons are dead warriors. One of them tells the guard that the dungeon is erupting. He almost finished his final words before ending his life, yet the security guard keeps staring at him with wide eyes. They still don't know what a dead guy means when the dungeon is exploding. The guard scan for bodies, leaving a grim scene as more skeletons sneak out from inside. Suddenly, the dungeon changes from easy to nightmare difficulty because the monsters are too strong. The guards scream at the top of their voice, asking the mayor about this sudden change. Back in the dungeon, Lin has one hand in his pocket and summons his slime to fight the charging enemies. This small burst of power burns away every monster close by, leaving everyone shocked. All the wolves that tried to eat Lin melted away like nothing, while Su Qing and Li Shui watch in amazement at how strong their teammate is. Lin decides to act as a hero and tells the girls to run, even if he has no intention of beating them up themselves. The girls don't argue because they both rush to hide behind a rock, but Su Qing worries about the monster's strength while Li Shui cheers him on and calls him captain. This story starts with Lin, the girl leader, seeing her pack cornering the dangerous Wolf King as it roars in rage while charging toward them. Lin notices their desperate attempt to trap him and decides that if they can't get away, she must use a powerful ally, a slime monster who turns out to be a deadly poisoner. As the wolves circle around, Lin screams for her friend's help, but realizes too late that the monsters are coming back with a coordinated strike from the dark side of the world. In a panic, Lin instructs the slime to make a defensive trap so the attackers can't breach their barrier. However, when the Wolf King tries to bite in retaliation, it just sinks its teeth into the corrosive mucus instead. This unexpected attack causes the wolves to take heavy hits and makes Li Shui, who has been keeping them safe with healing, realize they are being overwhelmed by a coordinated attack from monsters that seem to have all their own plans and secrets hidden inside. Seeing Lin get overwhelmed, Li Shui runs straight into trouble to save herself. But Su Qing intervenes and stops the fight before it gets too dangerous for either of them. Lin asks Su Qing how they can help Lin and Su Qing, but she immediately tries to fix it by making up a vitality potion that boosts physical stats for exactly 1 minute before the damage takes effect. So much so that Lin decides to go out of his way to stop her from drinking. When he activates the demon embrace, the girls are shocked as Lin effortlessly wipes out the entire wolf pack with just a single gaze, turning its eyes red in terror and leaving it defeated. Once the wolves are gone, he receives a nice amount of experience points. Li Shui roars about her victory, while Su Qing stares in shock at how easily Lin wiped away a 10-level beast. The zombies saw things were going wrong, and instead of fighting back, they jumped on each other with a surprising move called Hammerstorm, which turned their heads into a tornado and sent Lin flying in shock. Even Su Qing gasped because she knew zombies from beginner dungeons could actually use this fusion skill to boost both their attacks and defenses. Lin nearly gets trapped by the tornado, but the slime saves him while he tries to dodge the second wave. Lin decides he can survive if he only takes one more hit, so Li Shui collapses in pain and cries about how she can stop the disaster from getting worse. Su Qing is unwilling to watch her friend die, so instead of leaving, she drinks the potion and suddenly becomes a giant white bear who transforms into her true form just in time to save Lin. A girl named Li Shui felt a strange urge and ran toward a mysterious liquid, only for it to turn into a cold, heavy fall onto the floor, while Su Qing watched with delight as she saw the potion's power in action before rushing over to help Li Shui escape. Lin tried his best to get off, but instead of flying away, he was stuck right in the belly of a fierce tornado. Just then, he realized with horror that he had nothing left but rot and death, so he just let it go and died like a piece of meat. As he was about to be crushed by the tornado's wind, Su Qing instantly swiped him away before he hit the ground. Lin suddenly remembers his name and freezes when Su Qing sees him, screaming for him to act before he can vanish away with her new power. Su Qing was stunned when she saw the guy hold such massive strength. As Su Qing falls over with a thud, her heart races as she sees the line of zombies approaching. She screams in panic to draw Lin's eye to this terrifying scene. Lin doesn't think the zombie will even get to use its fusion magic again when he unleashes a demon embrace. Instead, he pulls it along and smashes it with such force that the monster shatters before Su Qing can celebrate the victory. She laughs at Lin's comment about her being the MVP because she was there just right, or else he would have gone straight into hell. It felt like a sudden shock when the potion's heavy punishment finally started. Su Qing feels a heavy weight pressing on her chest as the game's final move comes up. She takes the double penalty, instantly collapsing with only 10 health left. Lin leaps forward as soon as she sees the heavy crash and tackles the girl to help them both get up. She suddenly coughs up a little blood while realizing she's already nearly out of health points for the rest of the game. She takes his potion and drinks it to recover her lost strength. As Lin lets out a relieved sigh while treating Su Qing, he accidentally brushes against her soft melons, which instantly causes him to bleed from his nose. As Su Qing looked back in time, he suddenly saw Lin's eyes darting toward the blood spilling from his nose. She finally snaps out of bed and unleashes a brutal blow to the top of his head when he calls her a disgraceful fool, leaving him staring down at her with total shock. Lin screamed because he dared to mention what he had seen, so she grabbed his shirt to scream back at him how serious the matter really was. But when the girl couldn't believe Su Qing was actually embarrassed and needed her sanity, Lin lied by promising that he didn't see anything at all. Su Qing leaves Lin, but from her cold stare, Lin can actually see that the girl is dead. Su Qing then suggests,